You know what it is? It's the one and the only Professor L live in the LAB, live on Team GRF TV, and I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guys Beat Sound. Come on, class is in session. You ain't late yet, but you got about another minute, so come on. Get up in here. Get over there to your cubby hole. Get them lab coats. Make sure you nice and spiffy, because if you look good, you'll feel good, and you will do indeed your best. Make sure you are nice and sterile. I don't know where you came from, but you're going to be clean up in here, and please, most importantly, respect your fellow scientists as they over there doing what we do better than anybody in the business. Study what L's are, how they are, and how you can track them. So stay over there so you don't do none, because we over here at the university doing better than anybody in the business. Just so you know, one more time. But yo, you live in the LAB with the one and the only Professor L, and yo, asses in seats, eyes on the board. Coming right the building, episode 20, The Devil's Trigger. Now, I want to preface with this. Usually, after I watch an episode, I hop right on the mic. It takes me like 2 or 3 minutes, shake the cobwebs out, think about it. But today, because I had some other stuff to do, I watched the episode, and it gave me a couple hours to sit on the episode, to think about the episode, to try to figure it out for myself. Because a lot of times, usually when I get on the mic, I'm usually still in the middle of gathering my thoughts. I'm still in the middle of trying to like suss out and figure out what it is that I just saw. With this though, because I've had the time to sit down, I want to start from the very, very end of the episode. And you may be like, yo, the end of the episode? Yes. When I think about how the episode ended and how you assume the next episode is going to begin, is that at first it was kind of like, yo, y'all really gonna hop it on the cliffhanger and pop the teeth like that, like go through all of this for just, yo, we'll see you next episode. But when I think about this episode in general, period, though, that was probably for the narrative the smart play, because this whole episode was reason and rationale, and there was a lot of it. Our episode opens with where we left our cliff last time, with that boy Soichi Itarugi, aka Bloodstar Wook, talking to that boy Sento, like, yo, what's up, player? Hey, man, look, let me tell you something, though. Told you what this was, right? This the hazard trigger, just in case you forgot. Here, take this. Now, them brr boys, they sat up here and took this one, right? And now they stronger than ever. But know that the next time they get wiped out, it's a wrap. This can do the same for you. This can bring your power up any further. But the real reason I want you to have it is that just in case that boy Banjo gets out of control, you may be the only one who can stop him. So you enjoy this little present I've given you, and I'll see you soon. Keep doing what it is you do, because trust me, it's appreciated. Trust me. And that was more or less, an abridged version of what Soichi had to say. Because again, we last time we got in the lab, we had a little fun with Bloodstalk, hashtag Bloodstalk did it, right? We had some fun with that, and this was a little bit more of that, but in a way that the show always proceeded the way that he was thinking. Soichi Itarugi gonna do whatever it take to get ahead. Whoever wants to be a guinea pig, whoever wants to be sacrificed, whoever wants to be do this, he gonna pervert anything you do into a play for him. And handed Sento the hazard trigger was just another episode of Bloodstalk did it. In this, here's a lot of that reason and rationale which led to why the episode ended the way that it did. It's like Soichi needed to get in Sento's head, because it's like he was already at that point way before you appeared with like, I need a plan, I gotta figure out what this power up is. So Sento was already receptive to whatever it is was gonna pop off major. So he was already there. And all Soichi had to do was come through and just give him a little nudge like here. And then Sento was going to spend the rest of the episode trying to resolve and have the resolution of whether or not I'm going to use this thing we know you're going to use. Spoiler, right? So, in the rest of the episode, and I'm just going to do a lot of jumping around just for the sake of the review and not less the episode in the order that went to in the narrative, of more resolving resolution. We got that boy, Gentoku, aka the leader of the Gray Squad. And he doing what he do, always. Because of, and remember that this is some throwback stuff. Remember, he done been touched special by Pandora's box. So he gonna do whatever it takes to defend his hood. And it got to the point of where he set up them Hokuto boys and that boy Kamen Rider in Greece to get hemmed up. And then they ultimately broke out of a thing, but more on that later. You also had, like Sawa at some point sitting up here like, if Daddy Gray Squad was around, we wouldn't be invading Hokuto. We'd be doing all this crazy stuff. Which then leads into some more, not even resolve a resolution, to just more questions that I thought this episode was going to answer. And of course, I'm talking about my boo Masora, aka Miss Swimming Pools. She went and healed Daddy Gray Squad for whatever reason. Because see, initially my hypothesis was that if you've ever been, hit up with the hazard gas or whatever or something like that, that what she was doing was like, she didn't heal Banjo twice. Like, because, just because we jumping around in the narrative, of course he took another L. Of course that boy Banjo guy took another L because he pushed himself way too far trying to fight that boy Kazumi Sartar, aka Kamen Rider in Greece. Robot Jelly. That guy. So we gonna hop back to that in a minute. So I'm trying to sit up here and suss and figure out, like, what is this healing about, right? Like, what is going on with this? Still no answer. Oh, the rest of that resolved itself magically somehow because Basura ultimately healed Daddy Gray Squad. She stops technically with bringing him to the spot, trying to stop that boy Gentoku, leader of the Gray Squad, on trying to go into Hokuto and go run shop. Because, hopping more back and forth into the narrative is that Gentoku finds out somebody up here, it always feels like somebody's watching me. Or listening in this case, and trying to figure out how do they know where all the bottles are, how it is. So he sat up here, used them boys Sento and that boy Banjo guy to sit up here and be like, yo, people listening. So this the plan. This is where we gonna put Pandora's box at. They go down there and they get hit with the sleepy gas and things like that. This uses the time where he sends that boy Banjo guy and a whole and there's some Guardians and some army dudes over there in the Hokuto. But we'll talk more about what happened when they get to Hokuto, because that's more of that, the end is the beginning, some sort of thing or whatever. So, right now, just to review, because I'm hopping all over the narrative, because that's just where my head is, because, again, I've had time to think about this, is that we have reason and rationale that Sento is going to use the hazard trigger. Not only because he has to use the hazard trigger, and not only because this is a show that has to sell toys, but we need you in the narrative to be the guy who uses the hazard trigger because we need to know what it legitimately does. You got Gentoku, leader of the Gray Squad. Your daddy was sitting up here in his, 50th Kona, but he done came back because Masora, aka Miss Swimming Pools, done healed him. And now he done sat up here, he done ran, and this is just more the narrative. He ran. And by ran, I mean showed everybody he was that boy Nairo and flew out the thing and bust a hole in the wall. So it is what it is with that. We'll talk more about that hole in the wall because it's going to lead into the end of the episode. Speaking of things we're trying to get over right now, because I didn't mention this, the object of this episode is we're trying to get over an inanimate object. Usually, we're trying to push characters at you. We're trying to push forms at you so that your kids want you to beg you to buy them. But this episode, we are trying to push over an item. That's why the last episode was called The Forbidden Item, and this episode called The Devil Trigger, because we spent the last couple of episodes trying to get over the hazard trigger itself as something, as not only as a plot device, but as a device of something that you can add to your build driver that you can buy when they make the DX stuff later this year, because we're trying to push that over as a thing you want. At this juncture, I want to hop back to the beginning of this episode, because now we finna see this from another flip. You know that dude Kazumi Saratari, his boy, them brr boys from Hokuto, them brr. They sitting up here having some existential crisis because, boss, you forget who we are, boss. Boss, you supposed to run us, boss. That we need you. We gave up our names for you, boss, but you called us our names, boss. You didn't forget. But you know, I got these Kamen Rider powers now. I smoked all his hazard gas, and all I want to do is smack fools up. Mainly the dude named Banjo, the you guy. I don't like this guy. I just want to uppercut him. Because I am Kamen Rider in Greece, Robot Jellyman. So it is what it is, aka Mi Sora Stan, nan yan 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 yan, Mi Sora Stan, Mi Sora Stan, Mi Sora Stan. That thing, right? In this, we get more reason and rationale. Well, more of technically of that face turn that, you know, that you're trying to sit up here and think you can get over on me. As someone who watches this show, we get it. We ultimately know, and this is more of that ending that we left this cliffhanger off of. We know what's gonna happen. The boys finna catch a monstrous L, the final L you catch because you have your boys now. This will lead into Kazumi Saratar, aka Misora Stan's heel face turn. Because, you know, that's just how this show works. That's just how Kamen Rider works in general when you deal with things like this. So, right now, we are trying to get over that Kazumi Saratar is a decent human being so that you are ready and primed for this heel face turn. Just so you ready for what it is. Meanwhile, because we just jumping over the narrative, we got Sento just running around this episode after he didn't talk to So Ichi, aka that boy Bloodstar Ook, about trying to figure out like what's up with the hazard trick. Now, just enunciation purposes, I mean enunciation in the way of just trying to fully spell it out for you. Later, after he meets with that boy Bloodstar Ook, he go back to the cut, spill some coffee, you know, people having instant noodles and things like that. I'm like, Masora has a pizza, you know, you got Sour, aka Japanese Lois Lane, like, yo, I'm eating some spaghetti, and I'm just like, hope you bring lots of spaghetti. That's not what I actually thought, but I just felt, you know, Hotel Mario, what the hell. But regardless, just so we can fully, you know, understand what the hazard trigger is all about, we get some hits from that boy, you know who he is, the dude you used to be, Takumi Kazuragi. He like, yo, dear me, hey, right now, if you reading this, dog, that thing you got is called the hazard trigger, bruh. Like, yo, you will use this mug and it will give you superpowers. And I mean superpowers. But if you use this thing too long, you gonna go berserker, they don't hear me, and then you will whoop a fool's ass. So I just want to let you know that's what this is you got, but it's cool though, but thank you for coming, and you have a nice day. Just so it is what it is. Just so it is what it is. Oh, in the middle of all this, after all of this happened, well, technically in the middle of this, Sento and Banjo Ryuga take an L. And I mean an L. Like, L. Like, you have to stretch the L out for the L that they took. Because, you know, you got Mr. Heel-Faced Hertzman, a.k.a. Misora Stein, and them boys. And they over here at the Archaeology Museum from the King of Fighters 99 with that moving dinosaur or whatever, you know what I'm saying, playing Athena in the Ordinary Life or whatever. But still, whatever. It's like they take a massive L. It's like at that point, it's like, you know what I'm saying, we're back to, you know, where I was originally at before I went on this dumb tirade of nothingness, which was fully of stuff of the whole reason and rationale. We learned last episode, and you know, we get this later, but I just want to, where Masora tells Sento this, but I just want to put this just for the sake of the conversation we're having, right? Remember, you got that boy Banjo Ryuga sitting up here like, yo, Sento, that's my family, dog. I'm like, yo, I think the show is really trying to push this ship between me and Masora. And you know, Sawa cool, like I'd hit that if they let me. But the real reason is like, yo, he saved me. He let his build hands break right through. And, you know, I was seeing the rest of somebody save me, but, you know, I won't. Unless you want that, but that's going to cost you, but regardless. Banjo wants to end the war because He wants to live in peace with the homies and eat instant noodles all day because, you know, that's the dream to have. I'm just saying. Just eat instant noodles all day. Don't worry about nothing. Have a gay old time like the Flintstones, right? Now, in this, because now we're getting into the mix of that we need to go to the end of our episode. The very end of our episode and work our way backwards. Because, see, we have to work our way from the point when, non-spoiler at this juncture, Sento uses the hazard trigger and turns into Rabbit Tank Hazard form, where the episode ends. Let's work our way backwards a tad just so that we understand. At this juncture, the reasoning rationale Sento Kiryu has is kind of folded in a couple of ways. I don't know how many because I'm just going off the dome. I want to be a good friend to this musclehead dude who I didn't really like, but this my Ace Boon Coon, so I gotta hold it down. Like, her daddy betrayed us as a squad, but Masora's family, so I gotta take care of her and you know. And Sawa, she just ain't got nowhere to go, so she just rolling with us. It's cool and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's cool and whatever. So there's that, right? So there's that. Banjo is at this point going berserk, taking the L, and then they have like some flashback where, you know, you are my friend, but I know this is dummy so I stand song, but I will sing you are my friend anyway. Oh, friend. And then, you know, and then whatever, and you get all your resolution from that. Fast forward, back, rewind, and even further than that. Remember we talked about earlier because we were jumping around. Like, remember, Masora healed OG Gray Squad leader, and he came back and he told Gentoku in his old Mr. McMahon voice, "You're fired," right? And he did that, and then he turned into that boy Night Raoul, and then, you know, Sento delivered upon him this Pepsi Man level L. Just so that we remember this, because I just want to make sure that we covered this, is that he delivered upon him this Pepsi Man level L, and he took an L, right? Just took this massive L, just like, I was seriously thinking that boy Gentoku, leader of that former leader of the Gray Squad, because you got to get it right now, because he's former leader of the Gray Squad, will have some up his sleeve. No, you are here to job. You are here to J-O-B-B-B-B-B-B-B job to Sento Kiryu and Pepsi Man, because it's just like, we need you to job. Because, see, this is finna get interesting. Sento, the only squad that ain't in the mix yet. You telling me that boy Gentoku, former leader of the Gray Squad, ain't gonna sit up here and take all these L's, because he's been for the last couple of episodes taking L's. The dude you said you thought you put an end to because he was rolling with your thing came back like, yo, sup, Susumi, bitch, you about to take an L, Gentoku, I run you now, punk, taking L's. Yo daddy come back from his 50th coma thanks to swimming pools, and now you gotta run for your life. And then you get rider kicked. And you get rider kicked by Pepsi Man, and it's like, elves. Catch these elves. You might be wondering at this point, like, what did this have to do with anything? The answer is plenty, but nothing, but plenty. Look, the reason why I was just jumping back and forth was for the laws, so that you would get to this point so we could get a little serious before we dismiss class for the day. Let me remind you what kind of episode of Kamen Rider we just watched. I just told you at the beginning. Reason and rationale. We know that boy Soichi Ikurugi, aka Bloodstalk's method of madness. In order for you to be at my very best, I need you and Banjo to butt heads, to do whatever it takes, because you going to deliver what is this secret ultimate MacGuffin that this all makes sense for, because the Martians are coming and they're going to invade Earth, because that's probably how this show is going to end. Meanwhile, you got Mr. Heel-Face Turn Man, a.k.a. Me Sorda Stan. I stand for Me Sorda Stan. over here, sitting up here, and we trying to humanize him because his homeboy's about to take a L. Spoiler, next episode. You really think that the way that the episode ended, that he turned into Rabbit Tank Hazard, and he was fighting them Hokuto boys, the boys, while Banjo the Yuga was going berserk because you don't hear me, and you really think that three fools ain't finna take a L? We sat up here earlier and we talked about what's gonna happen when you know Sento the first time gonna go berserk. He gonna murder all three of them fools. And then you gonna have a couple episodes where you're gonna be, I'm so sad. I used the Hazard Trigger and I killed 3 people, but I don't care because it's war. And it's gonna be that. So yeah, spoilers. I don't even need to read a synopsis of the next episode. I don't need to sit up here and see clips from the next episode. The Hokuto boys are gonna catch a L permanently from Psycho Berserk Sento Kiryu, aka Rabbit Tank Hazard, Negro version. I have a dream that one day I'm gonna turn into a black form and I'm gonna rider kick a fool, and that's what's gonna happen. Sento Kiryu had the dream, and he gonna rider kick him some fools the next episode, right? Rationale. We can talk about for 2 seconds Sawa and swimming pools. You know what I'm saying? They rationale like, if OG was woke, we wouldn't be invading. So they go heal this fool, and then he come in the cut like, yo, son, you fired. And it's like, you're fired, which is what I should have said, but you get it, right? And then he turned into Nitro Oog, you know what I'm saying, mismatch bat, and then you catch an L from Pepsi Man. See, the show kind of tricked me because I thought he was gonna use it on him. Like, man, you so weak, man. I use Pepsi Man form on you. Like, I'm getting beat by these African Americans every week in this Pepsi Man form, but I can handle you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Remember, like, let's take a second because, you know, I'm being stupid on the mic, right? Let's just take a second because I'm being stupid on the mic, and let's remember the job performance, the G.O.D. of that boy Nitro. Remember when that boy Banjo the Yuga became Cross the Dragon? Remember that? And he jobbed heavily, and then couple of episodes later come back in a reverse job and sits up here like, man, I held back on you. And then you sit up here and give Banjo Ryuga that work, which then leads into a form where he would touch you and you would die at this juncture. But y'all ain't even in anybody's orbit anymore. But then, you know, in this episode, just to make sure we understand that you finna come back as something bigger, better, and stronger and nastier, and I can't wait because you've been my favorite character in this whole series. My boy Gentoku Hero, leader of the Gray Squad, formerly. But you caught this L with a Pepsi Man rider kick. So, hey, it is what it is. This show crazy as hell. And I love it. Show crazy. Catch these L's. L's getting caught. So I'm telling you spoilers. Them Hokuto boys are dead. D-E-D dead. Sento gonna go berserk and murder these fools. This is gonna lead into an ultimate battle between him and that boy OG 1980s Kiva, and then he gonna get his ass whooped too, and it's gonna be Me-tan, heal me Me-tan, oh I love you Me-tan, you are my favorite because I am your stan, and then he gonna heel face turn. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad we could have this conversation about that the last 3 episodes have been over putting over an inanimate object as a character. This is the show we watch. This show is going out of its damn way to put over a rider trinket as a destructive thing, which it is because them Hokuto boys are dead. Just saying. I'm just trying to remind you because I do what I do better than anybody in the business here in the academy, in the university where we study these L's. They trying to get over the hazard trigger, this real thing, as a thing that's not even gonna last as a power up for long. He is like Sento at best, may go berserk once or twice, figure out the key to this thing, and maybe by episode 30 get his full form. So I wonder what happens when he combines Hazard Trigger with Key Dragon. That's going to be interesting. You know, going dark form into a form you can't control because, you know, Dragon full bottle, you know what I'm saying? No, that don't work with you. So it's gonna be interesting to really see like how far this goes. But I'm telling you, real talk. Don't be like, yo, Trip, you spoiling the episode for me. I'm like, yo, watch Kamen Rider and watch as many Kamen Rider shows as long as I have. Hokuto boys are dead. This will lead into that grease face turn, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and it's always gonna be every day. I'll say hashtag Bloodstalk did it. It's gonna be interesting to see how that boy Gentoku Himuro, former leader of the Gray Squad, comes back into the mix. Probably bringing Sato into the fight, and probably coming that Kamen Rider rogue that I've heard so much about, because you know, bat, oozing, overflowing, henshin, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Yo, that's a wrap on this one. Like, I've done enough talking. This was a great episode. I'm like, again, like I said at the beginning, like, this review would be a whole different review had I reviewed this as soon as I finished watching the episode, because all I would have done, all I'd have been pissed off, like, why they put it on the clip. And I probably wouldn't have been pissed like that, but I probably would have been concerned of, why did they have to leave it on the clip? Why didn't he just put in his work? But then it took me some time to sit back, think about the episode, understanding that, you know, the episode is trying to get over the hazard trigger, and something important as part of Sento's growth that he needs rationale and reason to actually use this thing, versus in other instances, oh, I got this trinket, let me transform, because this is a show with a different character who has a brain. And not saying that any writer before him didn't have a brain, but this is a show about science, about the process of. So it's like, you need an episode like this because of the writer we're dealing with, to deal with the process of why I'm going to do a thing, because ultimately you gonna go berserk and you gonna murder them boys, because that's just what's gonna happen. The end. Look, class is dismissed. Get them lab coats back up in the cubby holes. You go enjoy recess. You thank the scientists over here who painstakingly every day work to find out how else and they work, and how you can stay from not catching them, right? Regardless, the one and only Professor L, live in the LAB, live on Team GRF TV. I'd like to thank all of you guys for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. Coming right up, episode 20, The Devil Trigger. And always remember that even though, oh no, when I come through in the building, Triple the G.O.D and Kamen Rider Bill get them full bottles, spit them up, and you know, you get that best match. Yay, yay! Hashtag Bloodstock did it.